What's up? What's up? Let me see. Yeah, 10 minutes. How do I? Hold up 1 second. If you want to hit the link, come up. I'm waiting for AB stream to end. Just give me a minute, everybody. I'm waiting for the people to come over from AB stream. Give me a minute, everybody. I'm waiting for everybody to come over from AB stream.
That's money. Like you a high school kid, you got a part-time job, you go hang out at McDonald's for 3 or 4 hours, and you buy like a bunch of food and chill
a couple
out with
McChickens, but the McChickens are too damn expensive. They want like $2 or $3 for the McChickens now.
Dude, I saw a hash brown cost $4.
What?
What?
Get the fuck out of here! A hash brown?
Like, no, man. If McDonald's breakfast is anywhere over $8, it's not worth it. It's good, but I'm not paying for McDonald's breakfast if I can get a proper breakfast for it in place of McDonald's breakfast. It's gotta be cheaper.
Right.
It's gotta be.
How much they charging for the burrito?
I don't know. I just saw it in like an Instagram post.
Man, I ain't been to McDonald's in so long though.
Yeah, well, I can understand why you're not going, because McDonald's in America is not very good, but here it's like the pictures off of you see little pictures and instruction manuals. They take the pictures in Japan.
Oh wow!
Oh, geez,
I don't know if it's true or not, but man, every time I get a Big Mac over here, it's like picture perfect. I'm like, dang, it's not even tilted to the side.
You know, at this point, if I want a Big Mac, I'll make it at home.
Yeah, I mean, if I were in the States, it makes more sense. It makes more sense than to pay $7-8 and then you got teenagers that don't care now. No, absolutely not.
Yeah, and the hamburgers shitty. So yeah, I just make it at home.
Yeah, you should.
I got a recipe for the sauce. It's not that hard. It's like mustard. I think like white vinegar and relish and paprika and garlic powder and onion powder. It's not hard to make.
I mean, look, man. If simple things like
I'll post the link if you want to hit the link and come up to the panel. Go ahead. I'm just waiting for AB's stream to end so everybody can come over here.
going to the movies, going to fast, they getting peanuts from the Democratic National Party, the DNC, to do their bidding. You should make them pay top dollar. You're gonna put your brand on the chopping block to be political. That means you can't advertise across the aisle anymore. You better get paid for it.
Yeah, let me get out of here, fellas, so you can go.
Yeah.
I'd like to thank everybody that came through and thank y'all for the cash apps. This is AB Media 83, and I'm out. Peace.
Yo, this is AB Media 83. Want to support the channel? Hit the cash app. Also, be sure to like, share, and subscribe to the video. Also, be sure to hit that bell notification so you can be notified the next time I upload a live stream or video.
My bad. What's up, Lewis?
Yo, what's going on, man?
Yeah, you heard us talking in about McDonald's. Like,
oh yeah,
the Big Mac index, right? Like, how much does it cost? Like, when I was in high school, right, I could work an hour at Taco Bell, get $6, and I could sit into the dining room and get a meal for me and maybe even a girlfriend if she wanted to be a little bit cheap, right?
mm-hmm.
And I could work 2 hours. I could buy a CD, right? A day. I could work a day, $50. I could fill up my tank and pay for school lunch for the week, right?
Yep.
But like, if you're, I mean, imagine you work an hour at Taco Bell and you can't even afford to eat there. Like that's unprecedented. Like that's never happened before.
Well, you know what caused this, right? And hey, what's up, Better?
Hey, how you doing, bro?
Here's the thing, and this is like, it's the ramifications from COVID. Like, one, all right, you got the war in Ukraine. Ukraine is the #1 manufacturer of wheat. Russia's number 2.
That's right.
And also, Russia produces the core ingredients for industrialized agricultural fertilizer. What has been happening in the Midwest for the past 4 or 5 years? You had droughts, severe winter storms, and all these things that have been happening that has been decimating the crops, and a lot of cattle was euthanized a couple of years ago. And some
Yep,
people,
yep.
because of the droughts, they weren't able to maintain their cattle. And fast food gets a certain type of cattle. Like mostly they get like the old milk cows and all that and other things. So the price of beef, if the price of beef is high in the supermarket, imagine what, and we get our stuff from distributor, and they got distributors that mainly distribute to fast food restaurants. If supermarkets are paying high prices for meat, what make you think they're not? And also with the price of wheat that has went up, and what is your hamburger buns made out of?
That would be weak, sir.
Inflation. Hey, what's up, everybody that's coming in? I put the link there, so if you want to come up, come up. This is a free fall, so let me click it again. Yeah, people cannot like I said, the McDonald's where I'm at. Traditionally the cheapest food around. People can't even afford that.
Yep. McChicken
I
should
knew
be
families.
McChicken should be $1. Should be
Yeah,
$1.
I knew families that would take their families to McDonald's because it's cheap. The dollar
Yep.
menu.
That's right.
Shoot, they brought back the $5 meal deals, and McDonald's. I've seen some early articles that were saying that they haven't really seen where people have been taking the deal, and I think it's just one of those things where Americans have you've squeezed too much. There ain't no more juice left.
Yeah.
And it's one of those things where it's going to be more than a $5 McDonald's meal in terms of relief for everyday folks. Right? People need rent relief. People need utility relief. Like I got. Oh, my bad, brother.
No. I just wanted to add on what you were saying. Like, if people are struggling to pay their rent, what's up, Afro Ninja? If you want to come up, hit the link. If people are struggling just to do their necessities, light bill, rent, keep a roof over their head, like McDonald's, to a lot of people, that's discretionary income. That's a luxury.
Mm-hmm.
That's right.
If they can't afford luxuries, everybody's on survival mode.
Well, I mean, think about it. You could take that $5 meal deal, put two of those together, and you can get you get a 10-kilogram bag of rice, right?
Yeah. Well, right now, where I'm at, the cheapest 10-pound, well, a 20-pound bag of rice, store brand, would be like $17. That's store brand.
And this is the thing we talk about culture, right? Like if you've ever been in a country like I'm in now where people have actually struggled. I mean, think about ramen. Ramen is a struggle food by definition. It is noodles in pig broth with a couple slithers of thin sliced beef in it.
Uh-huh.
And
Well, I love ramen.
Yeah, and they've turned it into a luxury food, but they literally have butter ramen, they have salt ramen, where it's basically a broth with noodles in it and a couple little decorations on the top. And they got through post-war Japan eating that.
Yeah, well, when I was in Japan, in Okinawa, and I go to a lot of ramen spots in Chinatown, and one of the things where like in Asia, meat is a luxury, especially beef.
Yes,
like chicken and pork is main staples. You will have the ramen as a base. You will have your meat broth. That would, like, with the either it'd be vegetable broth or pork or beef broth. Heavy on the vegetables.
Yes.
And a little bit of meat on the side.
And rice.
Yes. Well, rice is like
Oh.
the staple with the
Oh,
starch.
oh.
That and steamed vegetables.
Well, I think something that kind of puts it in perspective, like I said this over on AB's. Like I got laid off from tech and looking right now. I went to buy groceries and I was thinking of like everything really cheap. I was like, what's cheaper than peanut butter jelly? Bread, peanut butter, jelly.
Well, you in
So
Texas?
no, I'm in Georgia.
Well, where I'm at, all right, a jar of goober in my store right now is $4.69. That's for
That's
the
about that's about the ballpark here in Augusta. I
and
bought. Okay.
sorry about that. And a loaf of wheat bread. If you get store brand, you're paying $2.99. If you're one of them where you're a customer that's loyal to a certain brand, you're paying over close to $5.
Yep.
A can of Vienna sausages, which Struggle Food, as
Oh,
Port OG said 4 years ago, Vienna
that's 99
sausage was
cents. 79 cents, right?
it was 69 cents
Okay.
for a tiny jar of Vienna sausage. Now, if you get the scrapple kind that got everything in it, but if
Oh,
you're
God.
fancy and you get the chicken
God.
Vienna sausage, you're paying $1.99.
Hold on. Say what?
I shouldn't be laughing at that. That is crazy. Craziness.
Like, look, like 3 years ago, where I was going around just like, and I was given like, pre-COVID, this price was this. Everything is doubled, and what a lot of people don't know is like where let's say like this bottle. I use this as an example. They will make a big indentation inside. You think you got the same size bottle, but it'd be less product in it.
Shrinkflation.
And they'll
Yep.
charge you the same. You think it's the same. You're paying the same price, but you're getting less out of it.
Yeah.
And what a lot of people don't realize is a lot of companies, because one with the shortages of ingredients for a lot of product, a lot of companies had to either alter their ingredients and outsource somewhere else, which will probably cost more, or a lot of companies they're discontinuing a lot of, like, they just keeping to the main core lines and eliminating a lot of, let's say, like if you like cookies and they got different flavors, they eliminate that and just keep their core brand flavors that sells traditionally. They don't, people buy no matter what.
Yeah. I think really to kind of
Give
get
me 1 second. I'll be right back.
Oh, okay.
Go ahead and talk. Go ahead.
I think from a macro level, and let me know your thoughts on this passport. I feel like this is partially because of how capitalism seems to have like this infinite growth fallacy, and what we saw during the pandemic was they use it as a excuse to do a little bit of price gouging on the low, and the pandemic ended. They kept gouging, and now we're at this point where we've kind of screwed the pooch, where it's like we've raised prices so much, but in order to keep growing so that our stock prices and everything looks like we're growing, we can't necessarily come down.
Well, I would argue instead that it's not capitalism, it's price fixing. Because think about this really simply, right?
Mhm.
Let's say that I'm a local food producer and I'm making, let's say, cereal, right? I know that I could go from from grain to produce cereal in a box to store shelves for $2 a unit, or maybe a dollar unit, 50 cents a unit. I can't get it in the store. Why not? That's the problem. Why can't I get my cheaper box of food into the supermarket to compete with the big boys? And that's where I think the real issue is. is because simply put, America doesn't really. I mean, you have farmers markets, but farmers markets are a little bit different because you got to pay for the fresh to keep it fresh. But
Yeah.
just processed food that's not big box chain, right? If you want to compete with those guys, you got to jump through the hoops. And who's the people that control all of the levers? It's the big business. So it's in a way, it's not capitalism as it's intended, right? Because if it's true capitalism, some would say this market it's overpriced. Let me go in this market, undercut them. And if you can undercut them, then there's something more than capitalism there.
I feel you. I agree with that analysis. My only thing would be, isn't that kind of the end goal though? To get to the point where you control the market, or I guess you could say rather, the best case scenario where you are the market, which I feel like we're kind of getting to, because
Well, the ideal is, I think the ideal I've heard the max capitalism is to have a Starbucks on every corner, right? But
yeah,
but what happens when people can't afford to go to Starbucks? What happens when people
well,
start making coffee at home? What happens when people start cooking dinners at home? Like you can't corner that market.
mhm,
I mean, I
You
guess you
know
could
what a
corner.
lot of people are buying now that was popular and is spiking up? Those
what's that?
fucking those Keurigs.
Oh, with the little pods in them.
Yeah, like what you said. Look, Starbucks is a luxury.
Yes, it
Although when we
is.
had money, it was a main, like the sun we're going to go. I see more people in Wawa's and Dunkin' Donuts and 7-Eleven getting their coffee, but if you got the money to buy, like where I pass that with a Starbucks going to work, those lines ain't out the door no more.
Mhm.
Mm-mm.
And it was like more of a status symbol. Like, you'll bring your little MacBook in or your iPad and you're hanging out with your latte, your expensive ass latte. People can't afford to do that.
No,
I
no.
see people coming to work more with their thermoses.
And here on the backside is you got Starbucks paying that commercial lease, and they
Yep.
can't lower prices. So who it just fall it's caving in on itself.
Yeah, and to that point too, like my homegirl she's in college. She's going to law school, and as I said before, I'm looking for work. So one of our things is we go to the Starbucks around the corner, and that bitch is dead.
Yep. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Like, she'll plop down for like $10 for whatever, but we're there for like 3-4 hours, and maybe 5-6 people comes in, and I kind of wonder at some points, like, is it just we've been here 3-4 days? Like, is it just we ain't on the busy days or some shit? But
No, they can't be that. It can't be that. Starbucks is supposed to be busy because it's busy here. It's supposed to be busy.
shit, that thing's a ghost
Well,
town.
I remember in New York City where you had a Starbucks like on every 5 blocks. Every 5 blocks, there was a Starbucks, and you had like a Dwayne Reed, and a lot of them are closing down because the rent is so fucking high in this city, and commercial real estate, commercial rent
Yep.
is way higher
Yep.
than regular residential rent. You pay by the
Way
square
higher.
footage. You
Way
pay
Oh
by
yeah,
the
higher.
square footage.
hell, even the residential is crazy in New York. My friend from my hometown, he lived up there. He works for Fox. He told me for his 1 bedroom flat, he was paying like 3,200, and he was like, "I found a deal."
Ooh,
And that's cheap. That's
3,200
cheap in New
for
York
one
City.
bedroom?
Yeah,
Yeah, that's cheap.
Oh,
he
That's cheap in New York City.
found that in Brooklyn. Yeah, and he was
Well,
like, "I found a deal."
but see, this is what everybody's doing in the city where everybody's moving over to Jersey. And that's why they after 9/11, a lot of people realized that live in a city, like a major city, you're a target, but also it was very expensive because the economy was quite decent. and everybody was moving over to Jersey, and you had like Bergen County where they were popping up condos, excuse me, like to entice the transplants from New York City, like because you're right there, you could just commute, you could take the ferry, or you could take the bus or the train. You're right there in the city in like 15 minutes. So it was very enticing where you work in the city, you're making the city money, but you're not living in that jungle environment. And Hudson County and Essex County was like, hey, we should catch up onto this. And that's when they start gentrifying a lot of these cities and towns, building up, all this money with condos and expensive apartments. And what they were doing was kicking out the Section 8 residents. But now, because of COVID, now all these apartments and stuff is empty because people can't afford the rent that they're demanding.
And when we talk about capitalism, they shouldn't be empty. That's how you know it's not a capitalistic system. Because if they're empty, they should be forced to bring the price down.
Yeah.
That's capitalism. If you're selling something for $2 and I can sell it for $1.50, I sell it for $1.50 and I sell twice as much as you and I make more profit. This is what's supposed to happen. So why aren't the prices coming down?
Do you listen to Jason Black, Passport?
Of course I do. Of course.
Do you remember his episode, gentrification? I mean, genocide, 21st century style, where it's talking about gentrification, where you raise the prices that the poor people cannot afford, so that will push them out, and that's what's happening. Like where I'm at, what they've been doing was sending all the Section 8 people, sending them to the Poconos and Southern Jersey, and also sending them out to where the suburbs is at, because one of the things, like after you had the riots in Newark, where people were moving out to the suburbs, you had to travel through, like you take the Parkway or you take the major highway, you get there, and out in the suburbs, you don't have mass transit go out there. So you have to own a car to get there. And that's one of the things, like, to keep the undesirables out.
Yep.
But now people seeing that
moving back downtown. That's right.
Yeah, and people see like, hey, it's better to be in the city. So they start moving all the Section 8 people, which they don't got the money, so they can't afford a car, and I can't take a bus or a train to get to the city. Now they're landlocked. You're cut off by the highways. Yep. Unless you got a car, you're able to drive down there. But if you don't, you're stuck up there.
That's right. That's absolutely right. That's happening in Atlanta. I'm sure better you've seen it. You've seen Atlantic Station. Everybody's moving all from those people making that horrific drive from Buford, 2.5 hours to get to work. They say, no, I'll just buy a townhouse in the city. Walk to work.
A better you. What is that town that was next to Atlanta and they were trying to secede from the county?
Buckhead.
There. Buckhead?
Yeah. Buckhead's like it's like the north side of Atlanta, kind of in between like the city center and Sandy Springs.
Okay. Oh
yeah,
wow.
That's this money part of Atlanta, and they trying to kind of reclaim a luxury part of Atlanta, and a lot of Atlanta's moving back towards the inside the perimeter because the traffic is just horrific. It's horrific.
But I was seeing a lot of videos on Atlanta where it is a lot of fucked up shit happening. What is the politics down there?
I mean, I can't speak fully to it, but from what I saw, it's pretty much a standard Democratic town. It's a heavily Democratic. Basically, what you saw in the convention is a reflection of a lot of what you will find in Atlanta. very LGBTQ accepted. A lot of black folks. There's a lot of black entrepreneurs.
Okay.
And if you were a young black professional and you want to network and get shit done, there's a good chance you could advance whatever it is you're trying to do in Atlanta, just because there's a lot of people who are trying to network and actually build some shit out there too.
Okay. And do they have the police on a tight leash because of the unfortunate circumstances that happened a couple years ago?
Nah,
Still, all right.
they there's a big pro. Well, I guess I do know more than I thought I did, but Cop City is a big thing. A lot of folks ain't
Oh,
happy
that's
about that.
right. I
Yeah,
heard about Cop City. I heard about that.
yeah. Like so it's basically gonna be like this big ass police training facility to crank out like these super cops, and the
Mhm.
local residents ain't happy about it.
No, no, they're not. But Atlanta's about as gentrified a city as you'll find in America because you got places where you could walk down the street at 2 in the morning, and you got places where it's broken glass everywhere. People pissing on the corner like they just don't care, right? You
Oh
got
yeah,
both
like
of you got both of them in Atlanta.
I worked I worked at UKG and it was in Cobb. It was right across from the Brave Stadium. And it was very much an upscale place. Like driving through from Augusta, like you would see where DeKalb County, where you would hit Decatur, and like if you got off to get gas in those areas and whatnot, you would see it look kind of like, I don't want to say nothing to offend nobody, but you could tell like it was
Bomb went off.
a blight and a neglect there. Whereas as you
Hmm.
went into the city center and to those, go up a start, especially hit Buckhead, you hit all these other places, Sandy Springs, all these other places, Cobb, Bennings, all that. It's like, damn, it's nice as hell out here. And then you go to the shops and everything. You realize like I'm in a black city with no black people.
Wait, did you ever live in Atlanta?
I didn't live in Atlanta. I live in Augusta. I commuted to work in Atlanta.
All right, can I ask you a question? It
Yeah.
used to be this guy that put his videos up on YouTube, and he was a security guard, a black security guard in one of those Atlanta malls, and he used to taser the shit out of motherfuckers all the time that would linger around and start shit in the mall. And he used to fuck them up. He was armed with a gun and a taser, and he made a ton of videos on YouTube doing that. It was one of those mall spots in Atlanta, Georgia.
I ain't never seen that
Sound
dude,
like
but
you're talking about Linux.
yeah, I was about to say it's probably
I used to crack up all the time and
Sound like
watch
you're
his
talking about Linux.
videos. Like it'd be like some broad trying to steal some fucking weave out of the Korean spot, and they'll fight, and
Oh no, that
he'll
was
just
Linux.
taser the shit out of them. This is like years ago, the early, like 10 years ago on YouTube.
yeah. Linux is like the hood mall.
Oh,
And
okay.
yeah, I mean Linux is right next to Buckhead, and it used to be the nice mall, and they tried to keep it upscale, but they just lost. They couldn't. They couldn't keep it. They couldn't. I mean, it's got metal detectors. I've never been to a mall with metal detectors. That's crazy, man.
Hey, Chaos Rain, what's up? If you want to come up, hit the link.
To Passport's point, I carry. And my first time there, I'm seeing like the no gun signs and the metal detectors. I was like, "Oh, wait! I need to, uh-uh. I need to go back to the car."
Yeah, man. Linux is. I mean, I remember when Linux was nice, and then it just. Remember Ray Lewis, right?
Uh huh.
Ray Lewis 2000. Before 2000, Bucket was off the chain. It was off the. It was a string of bars, nightclubs, all of that stuff. And then that happened, and then they started getting worried about stuff, and then they took all those clubs out, and then they tried to make it into a glitzy upscale area, which is trying to be now. But
What
yeah,
now? Because Atlanta was known for like the southern like you had New York was known for its club scenes, and then LA and Atlanta. So what's up, Cortez? You want to come up, hit the link? Like, did they get rid of a lot of those clubs, or did they go out of
Well,
business?
again, it's just like we were saying, right? Like, it's you have like there's certain clubs that are for certain guys, but like the clubs that are for like I mean I think Club 112 is like in West End, I think. It's not in Atlanta, right? So
Yeah.
like if you're going to do that kind of partying, you're going into that select area of Atlanta to do it. You're
And
not
what
going
type
to
of
like the
clientele did
city
they cater
center.
to?
Oh, well, I mean, it depends on which club, but Club 112
Oh,
was like the one that was in the Welcome to Atlanta video, right?
okay.
So I mean, and then you got, the pronounced strip club establishments, and those. But again, those are like in very not isolated, but very distinct areas where if you want to go there, you have to go to that distinct area. It's not like it's somewhere like you can take the subway there and walk. It's not like that.
Speaking of gentlemen's clubs, I was the account manager, the payroll account manager for King of Diamonds down there too.
King of Diamonds is I said Miami, right?
Not King of Diamonds. Shit,
Nikki's
nah, it wasn't
Magic
Nikki's.
City.
Thank you. Yes, I was.
Really?
Yeah,
You worked at
Well, a lot of
Magic
go-go
City?
bars up here closed down.
I I didn't work for them. I worked for ADP. They was my client,
Okay. Oh.
and I was trying hard to get that client visit set up. I was like, "Hey, man, y'all,
I was
you
like, did you
want to
get a
make sure y'all
discount?
taken care of. Y'all good?"
Oh man, yeah. That Magic City is about as Atlanta as you can get. That you can't get more Atlanta than Magic City. Like it's Atlanta as in a microcosm. It really is.
Here in Jersey, a lot of the gentlemen's clubs had closed down. One due
Well, I don't
to
doubt it. I don't doubt it. I mean, Atlanta is a special kind of city because people make money specifically so they can go there. But if it's kind of part of the Atlanta culture. So even in the hardest times, if you want to show that you're a baller, you got it. It's like a ritual. You got to do it.
well, a lot of them here, they they um they turned to same-sex strip clubs. Like you would have the women, like women, and it'd be the girls just watching tipping, and the dudes like they rainbow now. They cross the rainbow, and the other ones
Well,
they go ahead, passport.
no, I was just gonna say you have to account for the fact that because the conditions in America are changing so fast, you're going to have this kind of evolution of culture happening at light speed, which is what you have, right?
Well, you know what, but the side effect also, you see more diesels on the street right now, as BGS would say,
Yeah,
the
yeah,
era
we
of the
know that's
diesel.
coming.
I
Yeah.
see it now. And I'll put it like this: before, you will see a lot of fiends out there tricking, and now it's like,
Mothers like regular women.
yeah, and
Yeah, man.
I'm like this, seriously, and I'm like, man, and
Yeah.
people don't know how serious this shit is getting, so they smack them in the face, and I'm like,
Well, and I don't really like to rag on black women because I think black women are just adjusting to the environment.
it.
But it just if there's no fail safe. The fail safe can't be I'm a divorce, whatever, a guy and then walk off with his money. It can't be that because guy's not going to do that. Absent that, what is the safety net for women except for what the state is willing to give them? And if the state can't give them enough, it's the street.
Well, what you're probably going to see, and what I like, nobody's ragging on no black women. We're just commentating what's going on in society. This is social
Yeah,
commentation.
of course.
What you're going to see is a lot of cohabitation amongst females just to survive, and it's
Yeah,
happening with men also. you're seeing a lot of dudes shacking up together, young kid, young guys that if they can't stay with their mom and dad, they're going out like what we did back in the day when you go on your own. But you're going to see older people do that because I mean, if you don't got the education, you don't got the skills. If you're unfortunately handicapped by having a criminal record or whatever, to work out, to get a decent paying job out in society, and with inflation, people are going to forced to be cohabitating with each other, and you're going to see a lot of women because they do. I know a couple people personally, a bunch of chicks that's living together. They get like 4 people because like you get a 4-bedroom that's like 3,500, and they just split the rent.
Makes
Yep.
sense to me. I
Yeah.
do it. I do it to
Yeah.
stack some money. Do it for a year or two, stack some money. Yeah.
And those that's watching, I got the link posted. If you want to come up, hit the link and come up. What's up, Art? So I mean, shit's getting bad. Like, and I was looking at the stuff today. Food just went up like crazy. Like the beef, we're cutting shit thin. Like porterhouse and T-bones are cut thin, and we got we call them 7S. We got the lowest they're like rectangular, skinny rectangular, like with oxtails, because oxtails is like $18.99 a pound.
What?
Oxtails?
Oxtails, yeah.
God damn.
$18.99 a pound.
Well, you got all right. Let me ask you this: what's an oxtail?
It's mostly bone, isn't it?
No,
Yeah.
where is the what do oxtails come from?
Well, it comes from the it's this the tail of the what you call it, like the right behind the
Of the cow, right?
yeah.
How many tails do a cow have?
One.
Yep, that's why it's so expensive.
But
You gotta think about it. A cow got
Mhm.
4 legs, right?
Yep.
All right, you could get different cuts of beef from that, but a cow only have 1 tail.
Man, well, people need to get crafty and make some kind of ethnic food with other part of the cow. Then,
But
no, it ain't oxtails if you're paying $18.99. You eating gourmet steak.
Well,
yeah.
that's what my mother used to make like every Sunday. We would have collard greens, yams, and oxtails. Every Friday we have fish. But on Sundays, we are like that was the Sunday meal. On Friday we had fish, and Saturday night she'll bake a fresh cake from scratch. And while she's doing that, she's cleaning up the house every Saturday. You go to church Sunday, and you have that Sunday meal.
Roast. How much is a pot roast? Like I don't know.
Depending on
I
it
can't do the
depends.
sizing.
It depends on what cut roast you get. Like the chuck roast is real cheap. It's the cheapest one.
Oh, really? Okay.
Yeah, because it comes from you got certain cuts. You got like from the chuck, and then you got the part that come from where the T-bone porterhouse area at where the meat is much tender. So
Well, but I think one of the good things is actually this downturn is forcing people to do is look, man, go to the supermarket and get a couple of bags, a couple of kilograms of rice, get some dried beans, get some large cuts of meat, and just learn how to cook. Learn how
well,
to
look,
cook, man.
look back in the day when I was a bachelor, and sometimes you fall tight. I always got like a family pack of chicken, some ground beef, and a thing of rice. And back in the day, remember when the George Foreman grill was the shit to have?
Mm-hmm.
Mhm.
Make you a patty, throw that motherfucker on the George Foreman grill, and you got your burger. And again, a family pack of chicken and some dry beans. Back in the day, a pound of dry beans, if you're from like Jack Rabbit beans or that brand or Goya, you get you some lentils of beans. and you just stretch that shit out for the whole week. But
Yeah.
now, a pack of beans is like $2.99, depending on the brand you get. Like I said, a 20-pound bag of store brand rice, cheap is like $13.99. But every week we have sales. But protein is getting very expensive. Like I was telling everybody, if you got a family, you got the space, invest on getting a deep freezer and just stock up on dry goods. And I tell everybody, just cherry pick. Go get the ads, go from store to store, utilize coupons, and shop wisely and prepare.
So let me. So let me ask you guys this question. I don't want to use too much Japanese. There's a word called shushoku, which means like the main food, right?
Hmm.
Uh-huh.
And I remember when I first got here, and they asked me like, "What is Americans like main food?" I was like, "What are you talking about?" There's like the
Are you
main
talking about the
food you eat.
staple part of the
Yeah, yeah,
plate?
like in Japan is rice. In Italy, I guess is pasta.
Okay.
Some places is noodles. What would you say it is for America?
It
Well,
depends on the country, part of the country you in.
and it
Bread,
depends on the look.
potatoes,
Uh, I'm
rice.
from the South, so for us, especially because my family's Gullah too, it's rice.
Rice is
They
definitely
Yeah.
rice. Yeah.
Yeah, like every
And
meal
are you
had
heavy
rice
on
or
the
something.
lentils? Are you heavy on the lentils?
Oh yeah, rice and beans. Yeah.
But see, like this, first of the month, this is the prototypical what would sell. They get a big jar, family size jar of pasta sauce, and they'll rack up on spaghetti and lasagna.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
Heavy carbs. Anything carbs is the main staple if you're in an urban
Yeah.
environment. Exactly, Afro Ninja. America's main is diabetes.
I mean, there's such a bad rap on carbs, but if you are walking everywhere and walking upstairs and walking to train stations, riding bicycles, you need them. But you
Yeah,
don't
but
need them if you're sitting in your car every day.
look, these motherfuckers don't go out and be getting doing any walking or physical training or anything. Look, we're open from 7 in the morning to 10 at night. You got your where are my stores at? You got your working crowd, the people that commute, they'll come in um during a lunch break or whatever. And after they finish work, they go to wherever they live. Where I'm at, half the motherfuckers wake up like 5, 6 p.m. They're gonna smoke a
What?
blunt. No, they're gonna wake up, they're
Oh,
gonna smoke they fucking blunt, they're gonna go to the liquor store, get their shit, and they're gonna come in with the munchies. I get more people trying to get in after we're closed. When I'm closed, I'm outside with the cop. They be like, "Are you open?" No,
Nah.
what time is that? 9, 10,
we
9?
close at 10 o'clock. We close at 10 o'clock at night.
Motherfuckers
Oh
always walk up
gosh,
like 10, 15. Yeah.
that's
It's only
crazy,
the working
man.
people that they get off of work from 4:30, 5 o'clock. They'll come in, pick up stuff for home, for the family or whatever, and they head out. It's always the motherfuckers that don't got a fucking job that comes in super late at night. Motherfuckers coming in
Yeah.
with they Crocs and pajama pants.
That's facts. My first job was Piggly Wiggly, a grocery store called Piggly Wiggly, and
Mm-hmm.
they'd always come in. They get like some little Debbie cakes, and it was always some bullshit liquor like MD 2020 or Wild Irish Rose.
Hey, leave Mad Dog 2020 alone, man.
I can I can
Strawberry,
visualize.
look,
I can visualize it.
strawberry kiwi was my shit back in the day when I was a teenager.
Oh my gosh.
Hey man.
Oh man, you must have a spine of steel.
Man, remember Cisco?
Oh yeah.
Oh God. Did you have stuff to do the next day? You were off the next day?
Nah, that's what we used to drink. We used to have a 40 of OE during the winter.
Mm.
We'd have our
Lord have
40 of
mercy.
OE and we'd chase it with Mohawk Blackberry brandy. But during the summer and spring, we'll drink Boone's Farms or Mad Dog 2020.
Old Farm, damn.
Boone's Farms when you had a girl around, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, there you go.
Some classic shit, boy.
He said classic.
Yeah. You know, get some Roy Rogers chicken and that, and you know, play some Troop or Jodeci or shit back in the
there
day.
you go. There you
Keith
go.
Sweat.
And it's going down. That's right. That's right. Run to the gas station right quick.
Yeah.
These kids today have no recollection of any of that.
Well,
None.
I mean, like I said earlier, this generation of people didn't have the social rites of
Rite of
passage initiations into a lot of shit.
Nope.
Mhm.
And I would say the same for the girls too.
Oh,
A
yeah.
lot of girls got involved in intimacy before they got involved with being liking somebody.
Well, when I came up, and this is how you could tell, like the crack bomb and the AIDS bomb did a lot of shit to us. And I remember coming up as a kid, you know, even before my teens, but I had the awareness, and you remember stuff like where mothers would talk to their children and be like, "Look,
Mm-hmm.
I know you're probably going to have. I don't want you to have sex, but if you do,
Yeah.
don't get pregnant." Or they'd be like, "A girl that's loose." That's what black mothers used to say, call a girl loose.
Fast.
They had a scarlet letter on them, where you hear elders talking about, "Oh, that fast ass hussy, she fast as hell." Then your mothers will tell you as a son, "Don't be hanging around that girl."
Bro.
We are ostracized. We used to ostracize the degeneracy.
That's right.
What was that was trying to come up? Hit the link again and come up.
Bro, like
You can't hang
my
out with her. You can't hang out with them fast girls over there.
Yeah, you don't hang around that little fast ass girl.
it's gotten bad.
And they'll tell you, and mothers used to tell their daughters, like, don't get pregnant by no man that don't have no job.
Mm-hmm.
Back in the day when I was coming up, like when I was a teen, it was like, you got to get you a job. Like, you know, people push you because that was a sign of responsibility. Like that was a sign to get chosen. And yeah, heifer. That's right, Art. Heifer.
Yep.
Don't hang around that heifer. But my mother's from Virginia. Virginia, she used to call them hussies. I don't know, you know, that was a term that she used. But you had those things, and I remember you're dating.
Mm-hmm. That's right.
It was like a 90-day rule, that it was like the universal thing, a 90-day rule before you could get even far.
You had
What's
a
up,
curfew where you
Yeah.
better be home. That's right.
Before the street lights come on. If you're older, you get home before 10, and you gotta be in contact with moms.
Man, there are a lot of our young folks that's lost, bro. Like about 2 or 3 years ago, my nephew came up to me and my brother when we was drinking beer, cooking out one day, and he asked us. He was like, "Hey, Dad, what's a blowjob?" And we kind of looked at him like, "Oh shit, he done found somebody flicks." And he starts talking to us. He tells us the girl at the daycare, it basically told him she wanted to give him a blowjob. She lied. Yeah,
Daycare.
He was about 8 at that time, 7 or 8.
It was a girl, like a kid.
Yes, a girl, and she had been doing this. She would line up, from what he was saying, she would line up three other boys in the little daycare class. They would go off, and there was I guess where the restrooms was, is kind of ducked off. She would line them up and blow them. And she was like, "Yo, you know, you should come too." And he goes, tells the director, and they have a whole big thing. They tell the mom. The mom comes down there upset, like, okay, and I'm like, what the fuck you
Oh
mean? Okay, and
man. Oh man. I mean, that girl doesn't have a chance. She doesn't have a chance. Her life is already screwed up if she's 8.
Well, you know what it is. She probably grew. She probably was seeing that it was
the home.
a turnstile in her home every night. A
Yep,
different dude going into the
that's right.
bedroom, and she was probably got up one night, opened the door in her mother's room, and saw her mother riding somebody, and put that impression.
Hmm.
Hey, Most Fed, is that what you got your camera on?
Yeah, can you hear me?
Yeah.
Yeah, I got the camera on, but I got a piece of black tape over it. I usually have an icon up there, but I'm at work now.
Okay.
Hey, no, I just wanted to chime in on the conversation that you all were having about the economic conditions here in the United States. It's very real. I'm here in Chicago, and I've seen a lot of things that have been happening over the past few years that kind of opened my eyes and let me know that I think it's mainly a generational shift. A lot of things that we used to do when we were young. We were no angels. We weren't squeaky clean, but today it's pretty outrageous. Hello.
Yeah, we
Yeah.
listening.
Oh, okay. Well, that's all I have to say. By the
Oh,
way, I know, we're on the wrong channel, a lot of the brothers that are on these shows like BGS and Arkansas, AB Media. I listen to a lot. I'm so glad that I got gentlemen like you all that I can listen to, and get some confirmation that I'm not the only one that's seeing these things out here, or drawing conclusions for myself about observations that we're making in society here in the United States. So, and I know everyone doesn't want to talk about politics, but my prediction is, and I don't expect everybody to agree with me, but I believe Trump and Vance are going to be in
say that
office.
again. Your mic is low.
Yeah, I don't expect everybody to think the way that I do, but my prediction is Trump is going to win this election. So we're just going to have to bear things out.
Hey, Most Fed,
Yeah.
are you seeing a lot of migrants in Chicago? Like, and like when you see them, like what kind of like what are you seeing there?
Well, I'll tell you what I have seen over the past few months. And yes, there are a substantial number of migrants here in Chicago. Have been for the past 2 years. We've been through a phase where when they first got here, they pretty much didn't have anywhere within the city to place them. So what they did is they started situating them inside of the public facilities like airports, police stations,
Really?
gymnasiums. I'm sure everybody is familiar with the controversy that was drawn when the mayor here in Chicago,
Hmm.
um, he was
Most
going
Fed.
to, yeah.
Well, was Chicago the school where the mayor had made the students do remote schooling so that the immigrants could be there?
Oh, that's right.
No,
Yes,
that was New
yeah.
York. That was Eric Adams.
Oh, that was New York. Oh, my bad. Okay,
Yeah.
go ahead, Most Fed.
No, but what I found ironic, especially concerning the educational issue for the migrants, and a lot of people are calling them migrants, but technically there are illegal aliens that have, uh, trespassed against, trespassed the international boundary lines of the United States, unvetted, unchallenged. The reason why it caught my attention is because way before this migrant issue became, started blowing up, we went through the issue with the 219 controversy, you know, where there was checks and you had to wear masks and you had to get vetted and, you know, you had to have all these vaccines or whatever. And, you know, these people that just started coming across the border, you know, it just kind of blew my mind. It's like nobody's challenging and nobody's stopping or whatever. But yeah, there were instances where one of the previous mayors, Rahm Emanuel, and I was here in Chicago at the time, he had closed down close to, I would say, about 50 schools here in the city of Chicago, public schools, and most of those closures of those public schools were in areas that were predominantly black and, you know, non-white. So when the migrants got here, there was a school closure on the south side of Chicago that had suddenly opened up, and the city officials placed those migrants inside of that facility. And you know, quite naturally, that drew the ire of the residents within that immediate area. It was disclosed in the news. It was all over the media. But I don't know, man. You know, I see a lot of things happening in this country, and you know, there are some things that you see that okay, it's here. We may not want it, you know, happening this way or whatever, but I think that you know, there's going to be a considerable amount of adjustments that we all are going to have to make. You know, economically, politically, culturally, across the board, because they're here. So, you know, I'm looking at like 5 years from now, every time I see a female, you know, on average, she has like one to two or three children and she's pregnant. So what is that? What, in about another 10, 15 years? Those will be your college students, high school students, you know, people out here looking for jobs or whatever. And I'm also looking at the condition of our people. You know, the history of black people in Chicago is very significant. You know, both the good, the bad, and the ugly, everything in between. So, and
Well,
there have been a lot of unresolved issues. You know, so it's a real big. I hate to say it, but it's a real big clusterfuck. You know, and a lot of money is
most fact,
involved.
I got a question for you. Now, you're from Chicago. So, what is the percentage of the demographics in Chicago? What's the popular like what percentage do black people make up in Chicago?
I know it's well below 30%, and right now, demographically, the Latinos or Hispanics, there are a growing
Major-
segment here in the city.
Now, who's the
Um,
majority in Chicago?
it's pretty much a toss up. It's roughly a third of white residents. Um, uh, Black come in well below. I would say anywhere from like 28 to 30%, and Hispanic, they're are growing in number. I think the last time I checked, they were like anywhere from 32% on up. So, and
Well, this
in
is what
addition to,
what was you in
yeah,
AB
in
stream
addition,
earlier?
no, I wasn't.
Oh, okay.
Well, I was listening, yeah, but I wasn't online.
No, you was listening, right? And this is why I was
Yeah.
talking about that when we were the dominant minority
Mm-hmm.
in this
Yep.
country and we never had any demands behind our votes. And now when you
hmm
say and you're talking about Chicago, black
hmm
people about to be the minority in Chicago.
If we're not there already, you know, I'll give you one instance that one observation that I make pretty much on a daily basis. I passed one of the state universities that are here in Chicago, and I'm looking at the number of people, the matriculating students that are arriving at the state university, and every time, it just seems like and like I say, I'm not trying to single out anybody. I'm not a prejudiced person. I'm not a racist. I don't, draw conclusions about people or whatever. But like I said, I just look at things for what they are, and I'm looking at like in our universities and centers of higher education, there seems to be a very substantial, large number of people from each state, and after those are people of Latino descent, and of course you have a lot of people from Africa. I'm sure that you have a lot of Eastern European, but but what I'm looking at is the our demographic, and we're primarily just we're working adults. If you're not a working adult, and you're homeless. Another observation that I've made is like during the time that I was growing up here in Chicago, there were black males, of my peer just everywhere. Especially in the city, like on the south side and the west side of Chicago. Nowadays, I hardly see any young blacks, and they're when I do see them, it kind of discourages me because they're walking around in these hoods. They don't wear, comfortable shoes. They have these flip flops on, jersey pants, and they just look depressed, man. I'm like, wow, is this really happening? I mean, I grew up poor here. I served in the military. I traveled around. I went to school for a while. I didn't get my degree, but I was a pretty active person. I've always tried to keep myself employed. But nowadays, it just seems like these young black people have no motivation to do anything. And I don't know. It just doesn't look good. You know. And I'm not naive. I understand, their background, what they're dealing with their, where they're coming from, as far as the home environment and community environment, which is something that, this panel and others, they talk about often. And there, I just see a need that something needs to be done, or like you say, I don't know, I hate throwing up, the G word, but I don't know. It used to be a time where they used to just come out and just flash you and kill you and whatever. But now the process of genocide is, it's a little bit more refined. It's a little bit more complicated. And wow, I hate talking like this, but that's I'm a realist. I don't I don't beat around the bush. I don't put rose-colored glasses on and look at life. I see things the way they are. And it's like, okay, where is this leading? So, I think this whole migrant issue is a game changer. I was listening to you, Louis, and you were talking about the observations that you were making. At
What the fuck?
What was that?
and I guarantee you, like it's gonna be like I've seen this before. I'm 60 years old. You have a ethnic group that comes here and they're placed near or within our living environment, our neighborhoods, or whatever, and they just, it's just a matter of time, 5, 10 years, and they're excelling.
I got a quick question for the panel.
Hmm.
Yes,
Go
sir.
ahead.
Yeah, in this environment, would you recommend anyone to buy a home the way
Oh
things are?
no, no.
Oh, I wish
I
Sochi
mean,
was up here.
if you could, I would say if you could buy it relatively quickly, yeah, and if it's well made. But if you don't have a family, and man, who knows? Man, everything is in flux. I wouldn't. I couldn't do it.
If you got all the money down there to put buy it outright.
Yeah. Yes. That case, yes. Very shortly, yeah. But like getting like a 20, 30-year mortgage, we can't even. We don't know what 10 years in the future is gonna look like, man.
Yeah, well, when I was coming home today, I saw 2 fucking repo trucks taking cars down the street.
Yeah, I bet.
No, every night. the repos be out here, and they're not and the fucked up thing about it is they're not snatching up some luxury car that someone couldn't afford. These are normal, like
Oh.
these are like Hondas, Chryslers.
Well, but the
This
thing
ain't
about getting
this ain't
the
somebody
thing
buying a
about
C class.
well, the thing about getting a house is a family home is a symbol of stability. I'm going to settle down now. Who's settling down? Where? With whom? I I can't see it. You can't see it.
I mean,
Well, you make
Can't
you
see.
make a good point. You know, there was a
Fair
time
enough.
when a home was considered a major investment for the family. You know, as a source of wealth that could be passed down to your children, and they would, you know, get a head start and wouldn't have to start all the way from the very bottom and trying to purchase a home. But nowadays, you know, especially like with the situation with us, as far as like between men and women and family structures and thinking about legacy and, you know, thinking about, you know, like, well, you know, what's the family going to be like 30 years, 50 years, 100 years from now? All that's gone. So that, you know, is tossed out with the idea of buying a house. Yeah. I don't know. I wouldn't say it's depressing, but it's a significant change, and I don't know. I guess, you know, I guess white people are going through the same thing because you know the old saying, you know, whatever happens to black folks eventually it's gonna come around to get white folks too. So
well, we're the canaries in the coal mine for everything, and
Hmm.
what hit us and this is why I said it. You can't put the toothpaste back into the tube. Look, the powers that be, they did all this fucking shit with drugs, all these social engineering experiments with us. Now it's affecting their children. They saw what happened to us when you economically castrate the men in our community that can't get a job to support their families. They seen the repercussions from that. Everything they did is affecting them right now.
Hmm.
yeah,
Well,
well, you know,
anyone, go ahead.
I like to say I don't know, you know, um, I like to say I really don't know what to say because like I said, you can't predict the future because you know, whatever might have happened 5 years ago, as far as you know, making estimates about what your personal choices were, you know, what type of route you're going to make as far as like career and family or whatever. You can't predict those things now because in actuality, you don't know what's going to happen tomorrow morning. You know, there's the threat of nuclear war. You know, there's a lot of tension here in the United States. A lot of that is primarily based upon, you know, economic hardship that everyone, not just black people, but everyone is experiencing. Um, the changes that are happening internationally, you know, I read a lot of international news, especially about business and trade, and I don't know, I just think that here in the United States, this generation and the generation that we're supposed to be preparing for the future, they are just not going to be able to compete or hold up against uh, the game changers that are coming on international side. But what do you what do you brothers
Well, what I was going to say is if you look at America, 330 million people, people will like to point the finger at black people and say black people are messed up and and whatever they need to get their act together. If they worked hard, okay, fine. Let's say that you take the 40 million, 45 million ADOS black people out of America. What's left? A country that's still got a bunch of problems. And those problems are
Yeah.
going just getting exacerbated by the modern day conditions. And it's going to get worse. That's the thing. We're canaries in the coal mine. We went through everything that white men are about to start going through with their women. Now we've already been through that, and now they're starting to deal with it, and they can't. They're not like us. Like and they can choose from the whole rainbow of women, and still they're having trouble with it. It just look, man. We've been here before. Welcome, welcome to the rodeo. You don't make $100,000, you dusty. Okay, white men are not used to that. I mean, they're not. They got to get used to it, or they could just get a passport and go get a chick halfway across the world and get some Asian chick. But if they want a white chick, they're gonna have to deal with it.
Yeah.
It's here. It's here. You are now dusty, sir.
Yeah. I
Welcome to the party.
yeah. I think a lot of things that we're dealing with today, and specifically as far as for Black people, let's say for the issue of reparations, that's been put aside for what at a minimum like 30 years. HR 40. There was never really any serious intent or serious will to pursue that and bring that to a conclusion. I mean, the simplest thing you could have done if you were going to do anything, whoever is responsible for applying the reparations, I would say when it comes to Black people, since they have had a substantial amount of property, or real estate property, personal property, whatever, stolen, manipulated from them, or whatever. I would say the best way that you can conclude that within modern times, go ahead and give a black family, not a black individual, but a black family, a house, at current market rate and for free. And the only thing that they would have to pay would be like, a reduced tax or even tax abatement that will, pretty much disappear the board. Now as far as like what you do with the house, as far as using it as equity to start a small business or, use that as collateral for your entrepreneurial efforts, I'm all for that. But, you know, our main thing is having resources, and it's not just the physical resources. We need education, across the board, not just for a select group of people or a certain class of people within our group, but I would say across the board. You know, we need to start investing in actually, investing substantially in the youth as far as preparing them for the future because hey, I'm 60 years old. By the grace of Mother Nature, the Creator, if they allow me, well, I got another 20 years before I'm gone. And then, like, well, the teenagers today, they're going to be, in their 30s, 40s. They're going to be living in the world that we're talking about right now. So, they're going to need the defense. They're going to need every tool that they can use, economic, technological, educational, or whatever, to compete and hold down their own. But we're just not doing it. We're not pursuing that the way the Chinese are. We're not pursuing that the way a lot of the other Southeastern Asian countries are. As a matter of fact, across the world. I don't know. Like I say, the only thing you can do is just acknowledge things for what they are and just hope for better. And just remain diligent, on a personal level. Like I said, you have a family, make sure you can't force them to do anything, but you can give them the information and knowledge to do what they do. I hope I answered your question.
I hear you. I hear you.
I think your mic is off, Lewis.
But hey, I want to play something, and this is what they're thinking right now. Can you hear this?
The past couple of days,
Can y'all hear that?
and
Yes, we
Yeah.
can.
Was
I
that
can hear.
loud? That y'all heard that,
No,
right?
it's fine. It's good.
Yes, sir.
All right.
it's important for me to stay true to what I'm preaching. So I'm trying to ask women, how do you think we can change maybe some of our negative thoughts or perceptions towards men? What do you have, Nicole? What do you have for? Hi, Dante. Negative perceptions towards men. The first one is therapy. Excuse me, I had some really good bubble gum. I just popped in my mouth. Therapy, because a lot of women have father wounds, mother wounds, and they have a horrible perception of men. And they stay in these toxic spaces where the men are toxic, and then it's toxic communication, not just on Clubhouse, but just in general. Just the general sentiment is that men are not, and this has nothing to do with race. It's just, you can just watch commercials, TV. They look at men like children, imbeciles, like they need to follow behind a woman, and that he's less confident than a woman. So it's this negative perception that he is not a good leader. And now we have a woman running for president. So that, you know what I mean? That just further fuels that. For some women, it's so ingrained. They feel like a woman would be a better leader. And in some cases, that's true. I can understand where they're coming from. But for some women, Raquel, this is generational. They've been raised by generations of women. No man in sight, or if he is, he's in and out, inconsistent, not offering any safety or any direction or any structure. And so now they're adult women. And they look at us like pygmies because I've been doing it on my own this long. My mama's been doing it. My sister's been doing it. It worked out for you, but so what? I don't need a man. I don't really need him. I really can do this by myself. I really don't need to take the risk of getting with a man, have him break my heart, because it's always negative connotation. I don't want to get with him, have my heart broken, my feelings hurt, loss of money and everything, and have to listen to him when I can come and go as I please as a single woman. So I always tell women this, Raquel. I got you, baby girl. Men are, in a lot of ways, they do keep us from a lot of calamity because that's what they're supposed to do. Men are our leaders. I just came from a room where men were literally mad that women wanted protection. She had these children and she wanted to protect, and they were upset. And I'm like, but that's what men do. You are protectors. That's the cost of being a leader, right? And that's what we do. So if you are saying that you don't want this man to be in the household, or you don't need a man, and all that you're saying, that's fine. Do you have a backup plan? Because this economy is not getting any better. And my understanding is that it's kind of bad all over the world, not just the U.S. So, what's your plan? Because a lot of these companies are not stable. They are downsizing. And you shun blue collar. And I have articles, Raquel, if you ever need them, that prove that AI is not going to replace blue collar anytime soon. They are going to replace white collar jobs. And these companies are going to downsize. So all of these blue collar men that everybody has thumbed their nose up at are actually going to be the most desired, and because those jobs, we always need infrastructure. We always need transportation. We need ditch diggers. We need builders. We need, people to fix stuff. We always need HVAC.
That's where they're recalibrating at. All these years they were shunning blue collar people, and they're looking at it's the white collars whose jobs are at risk. Now that's going to be the new target. Back to the blue collar.
I hope those
Yeah,
guys
what
have
is
their
the
head on their
old
shoulders.
saying? Yeah, what is the old saying? All work has honor. If you're a man, I don't care if you're a janitor or a corporate CEO. If you're a man and you're out there trying to help yourself and help your family and make a living legitimately and honest, you need to be honored.
Like, yeah. And now the environment is going to show everybody for who they are.
Mm-hmm.
You can't make no mistake in this environment. Imagine going through a divorce right now and getting put on child support right now. In this environment, boy, you better do your homework.
But
And she also mentioned Kamala Harris and the fact that she thought that women would, a woman president would be a great idea. I have to
hey,
100%
most
totally
fed, you got to
disagree.
speak up.
Yeah, I have to disagree with her when she talked about um, having a female president as a wonderful thing. I do not believe that. Well, it's not that I, believe. It's not that I don't believe. I believe fully that Kamala Harris is not prepared for the immediate challenges of this country. Kamala Harris is not prepared for the challenges that are going to come up on the international level. I just don't see it. You have this person. I'm not going to call her a woman, and I'm not going to or single out her gender, but as everyone is seeing now, she hasn't even expressed what her policy is going to be at an initial level. I mean, just a one-page policy statement with an itemized bullet list of what's going on to let you know, hey, I know what's going on in the world. I know what's going on in this country. I know what's going on in the city. I'm on top of it. What, more than 3.5 years as the quote unquote borders are, and she hasn't done anything to, stop or suppress this controversy with, people coming into this country illegally. And then on another level, as we can see now, it's disrupting the functionality of this country, on the state level,
But
county level, all the way down to your boss.
but most, this is the problem though. The like I said before, and we were talking about an AB stream, the average voter, the civilian, is not really, they don't educate themselves, immerse them into what a policy is. You're gonna have a group of people. If I'm Democrat, I'm gonna vote blue. If I'm Republican, I'm gonna vote red. My loyalty to my party. And then you're gonna have a certain segment that whatever core issue that they're heavily invested in, they're going to vote for that no matter what. You're going to have probably a lot of liberal women that's going to vote for Kamala because she's pro-choice. You're going to have your Christian evangelicals that are going to vote Trump because he put Roe v. Wade at it's the choice of the state. Or if you're a gun control, like you like your Second Amendment, you're going to vote Republican. It's whatever that core issue someone cares about. They're going to vote for that party. But like I said, it both sides, Trump and Kamala, I haven't really heard that much from Trump either, just to be fair. But what are they going to talk about the real serious issues? Like I said earlier on, a lot of the elderly, the boomers that are living on a fixed income like Social Security or whatever, and inflation is hitting hard, and they're being gaslit by all this bullshit they see on the news. Those are going to be the ones that probably sway over to vote for Trump as a protest vote. But both sides, they're just throwing snot at each other, but really nobody's addressing the serious, real issues that's affecting this country, really. And they're both sides are just hoping on people just going to vote, out of loyalty or those one core issue things that's affecting the country, not the totality.
Hey,
Well,
Lewis,
I
I don't
will
mean
say
to cut
that.
you off.
Oh, go ahead.
Lewis. Yeah, Lewis. Look, I don't mean to cut you off or anybody else, but I want to ask you this question since you just made that statement. Concern both about the economics of the older people and as well as the nitpicking and that goes on between the two parties. What is your insight on this? Do you think that there's a possibility that a practical, pragmatic third party will rise over the next few years as a result of all that's went on just over the past few years?
I'll take that.
Go ahead.
If we were in a media environment of, say, maybe 40 years ago, absolutely. But in today's
Ross
media,
Perot, like Ross Perot.
yeah, like definitely the ground is fertile. But the what you've witnessed, honestly, with F. Boy Joe being thrown out and Kamala being installed with absolutely no challenge whatsoever, when both these people were number one and two as most unpopular figures in the entirety of the Democratic Party. So it's one of those things where the parties have a vice grip on everything right now. And they have done everything to stifle significant inroads for a third party to challenge them. And, you know, on a certain level, it makes sense. Like if I'm in control and I got, I'm sitting in the chair, I want to keep sitting in the chair. And they're preserving their own ass.
Yeah,
Mm-hmm.
they're trying to maintain power.
Mm-hmm. And we all know how addictive power is.
Yeah. I will say this. A third party candidate doesn't have to win in order for a third party to win. And what I mean by that is this. If either party ever felt that another party's platform or their candidates were gaining steam and were becoming a threat to them, what you would see happen would be kind of like with the Tea Party and the Republican Party, where they would adopt a lot of those key components of the platform, and you would have where they would kind of merge, the party would shift and track in whatever direction, and then you would have the new party on the back end of it, which looks a lot like what that third party was pushing.
Like a fork in the blockchain, huh?
Yeah. So I mean, because think about it. If just for example's sake, if I vote green and Democrats see that, oh shit, Green Party is taking 15% of our votes. Like we can't win a national election with Greens taking 15% of our vote. Okay, what's the biggest issues that these people are voting Green for? Okay, it's healthcare, it's this, it's that, it's housing. All right, we got to adopt that into our platform, and we got to put some shit behind it. Once Democrats start actually doing something like that, then you will see where a lot of those Greens that were voting, who probably were disaffected and former Democrats, will go back to the Democratic Party. But the Democratic platform will forever be changed and lean more into the direction of the Green Party.
Well,
Yeah, wasn't that the party with Ralph Nader? Green
No,
Party.
Nader, I want to say Nader ran independent.
Yeah, I think he did. The Green Party is Cynthia McKinney. It might be Ralph Nader. I know Cynthia McKinney ran on the Green Party not too long ago.
Oh, that's my girl. Oh,
Yeah. She
I loved
walked
her.
she walked the walk. It cost her a career, but
Yeah, I have the up. I actually voted for her for president as a protest vote. Like I had the utmost respect for her when she dug into Donald Rumsfeld ass on that hearing.
But I mean, you think about if we had a proper quote unquote democracy, this year will be ripe for a third party. Because if you ask most voters, who do you want to be president? I won't say most voters. You ask the moderate voter, who do you want to be president? They're looking at both of them and saying, I need more than this.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And there's nobody
Is
else.
this the best you could offer?
If Ross Perot was running in this election, he'd win it.
Oh yeah.
And I'd
I'll
say
say if
what's
Hillary
the,
was running, she'll win it.
I don't know about that.
She'll
as
win
an
it.
independent,
Yeah.
I think you need more of an outsider. Like who's the dude that ran in the Republican ticket? What's his name? Kentucky's older father.
Oh, you talking about
Rand Paul? Rand Paul?
yeah,
Rand Paul. I
Ron
would vote for
Paul.
Ron Paul. Yeah,
Ron Paul.
I would vote for Ron Paul if he shrinks government and improves. Just I mean, look, we're not going to get somebody that's going to go in there and do a bunch of stuff for black folks. So can we get someone that's going to help everybody? If it helps everybody, that means it's going to help me by definition. I'll take it. This really should be a third party election because
It-
there's nothing exciting about this election at all. Nothing at all.
I will say this. I feel like the average black voter and black person in general has to get beyond this when it comes to politics. We not go talk to somebody or engage with them because we feel they're racist. If you go back through American history, LBJ, Harry Truman, and a lot of other presidents was racist, notably racist.
Well,
And I don't know
You
I
where
know,
we got
bro.
this sentiment from.
I
You
had a
know,
conversation with a customer,
Mhm.
and it was about, oh, Trump is racist. And I asked her, what president wasn't racist? And she had nothing to say. I said,
Okay.
take Obama out. What president wasn't racist?
Yeah,
And I
they,
said, you just fell for the propaganda. They say that to pull on the emotional strings of someone to sway them to stay, tote the party line. I say
yeah,
yeah,
you
and
really
100% agree.
I, yeah, this issue about race, our population, the country in total, right now, it is so diverse. You don't know where people, what their backgrounds are. You don't know, where they come from. You don't know how they're related or whatever. I mean, the world is very mixed. What we feel about race. The way I look at it personally is that, well, racism is not our problem because black people didn't create racism. So the person or the group or the organization that created racism, that's their problem. Our problem is economics, education, technology, business. We need to get back to reestablishing at a micro level, business infrastructure so that we can create our own jobs. Because these two jobs that we have available for us now in a few more years, they're not going to be available. And I believe it was Lewis or one of the other gentlemen mentioned earlier, or was it on the page, where with technology, artificial intelligence, it was going to get rid of a lot of white collar jobs. So, well, if you get rid of the white collar jobs, then that means that you're going to have a dissolvement of a lot of these corporations. And, most of the businesses here in the United States are controlled mainly by corporations. Even though small businesses are what really run this country, small business person, the entrepreneur is the backbone of this country's economy. But they don't have as much political sway and political influence and financial, power as do the corporations. So once the corporations are gone, then that's it. What do you have left? Low collar skill, handyman job, what nursery school, midwives, house cleaners, street sweepers. Yeah, anybody ever thinks about, not to be negative or pessimistic, but what if the country actually does? We can't get our shit together, and things actually become dystopic. After communism failed over in the Soviet Union, it was a complete disaster. But over the past, what is that, 1990? Over the past 30 years, Russia essentially they got their shit together, and right now I would even say that Russia has a better economy than the United States.
What, Russia?
Yeah.
Well,
wouldn't say that.
well. Last night Moscow was in a total blackout, so they.
But those things are temporary. I'm looking at the type of union and trade partnerships that they're developing with China and most of the Eastern European countries, the former Soviet satellite countries, such as the Eastern European Union, the Shanghai Cooperation Organization, the trade that they're established, trade ties that they're establishing with Iran and Kazakhstan, Brazil. I don't see these things happening here in the United States. The United States seems to be pretty much want to play the same cards for the future. Well, this is the way things have always been. This is what we're going to do. Let them do what they want to do. We're the United States. We're big. We have, and I think right now we're getting shown that that formula doesn't work in a very changing world. The world has very much changed. I don't know if people are willing to acknowledge that, or they have cognitive dissonance, they're in denial. One day, there's always going to be one incident, in your personal life or in general, where things just kind of wake you up and let you know, well, the world's changed. It's just going to do things. And I see that confidence.
Are you good, PK? Is your internet working? Damn, what's wrong? Oh God, damn, PK.
Hey, fellas, I got to get back to work, but Lewis, I appreciate the opportunity to speak on your program, and Simplify
Pleasure.
and and Better You. Thanks for answering my question, and all you gentlemen, stay on top of things, do the best that you can, and stay safe.
Likewise, nice to meet you, brother. You have a
Yes,
good one.
sir. You
Peace
have
and
Bye now.
blessings.
All right, Lewis.
Peace. Yo, PK, come on up. You got that Walmart connection?
Stop. Be nice. Be nice.
PK been drinking that booze farm and that MD.
Yeah. You got that boost phone? You got that boost phone?
Oh wow.
Now,
one thing I like to do when you should do this when you go to YouTube. I don't know if you do it or not. Well, anytime you see like a post that's like celebrating, especially in the political season, like celebrating Kamala Harris and all their speech, click on the comments and then click newest first, and you see some people going off, like straight up going off. If you want to see like people like unleash, do that on like when these posts are like, it was a great speed, great, and then click on newest first, and you see some people they're like, what in the world is going on here?
and well, with the thing with the third party, I think we're going to have to go through some bullshit with this election if there's
Yeah.
going to be a successful third party, because it's a lot of people on both sides that are totally disenchanted with these parties.
Yeah.
I do feel I'm cautious with Kamala for this. A lot of her campaign and the energy and enthusiasm about it is,
You're Oregon.
oh dang, am I coming through better?
You still got a little Borg in it.
What about?
Yeah, go ahead.
Yeah, I feel like Harris campaign. It kind of get it. I'm feeling like a similar thing is happening with them that happened with Clinton, where this enthusiasm is overstated and people are putting way too much into a crowd size, frankly, and the grassroots and how people really feel. Like, people have questions about her loyalties. People have questions about what she would actually do, and I don't think people are sold. I think her support is probably understated a bit.
Well, you talk about grassroots. This is absolutely nothing like Bernie Sanders. Like
Oh yeah,
there was energy behind Bernie Sanders. Like I saw people get political that I never thought would get political. And when they squashed that, I knew that the Democratic Party had some tough days ahead because
Yeah.
I haven't seen energy like that behind a candidate since Barack, and even Barack was like, "Oh, we get a symbolic good guy," but Bernie Sanders is like, "We have a chance to change some of this stuff." And when they
Well,
squashed that, a lot of people walked away from the
well,
Democratic
but
Party.
what did Bernie do though? He had actual policies. If you elect
Yes.
me, I will go
Yes.
for this.
Mm-hmm.
And he went after the younger generation,
Mm-hmm.
then the millennials,
mhm.
and he used the tools of communication. He was
And
heavy
and
on
and
social media.
and one of the worst things that could have happened was remember all of those people saying, "We can't afford that stuff. We can't afford it. We can't afford it. We can't afford it." And what happens right after that? Start two wars, go in debt, paying for a whole bunch of stuff that was not Bernie
COVID,
Sanders stuff.
COVID,
Well,
and
COVID, of course. And if you can't pay them, now you got people spending money on migrants,
Mhm.
dumbass. You can't send your own people to school for relatively decent amounts of money, but you can't get people into hospitals and healthcare without these exorbitant prices. But you can bring in migrants and give them, yeah, man. That grassroots ain't there. It's not there.
Yeah,
Not there. Not.
100%.
and
Oh, I'm sorry.
no, go ahead, brother.
To your point, passport. I can't tell you how many. I'm. I'll be turning 35 later this year. I can't tell you how many people I've talked to my age and younger that have told me point blank, period, they fucking done with the Democrats in politics. Just like, yo, they screwed Bernie, they
Yes.
screwed me. Fuck 'em.
Yes. Yes. Yes.
And guess
That's
what?
what I'm talking about, boy.
And
Boy,
guess
but
what?
some people
It
pissed
was a
behind
lot
Bernie
of Bernie
Sanders.
voters that voted for Trump too.
Yep.
Hmm.
Hmm. People were pissed behind what they did with Bernie. I know a couple of them that were pissed off. I'm talking about white dudes pissed off.
You know, it's really interesting
Because
because, like,
a lot of those Bernie people were Occupy Wall Street people.
hmm oh
Yep,
yeah,
that's right. That's right. And then they bailed those banks out, boy.
I,
There goes your grassroots Democrats. There it goes.
the funny thing is back in 2016, I can't tell you how many people I talked to that voted for Trump who flat out told me if Bernie was on the ticket,
Yep.
They'll
no
vote for Bernie.
contest.
Oh
Yep.
yeah. But see, let's be honest. What was Trump when he ran? He was the
Yes.
Excited.
Obama. He was the Obama to the rednecks.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. I can say that.
He was the Obama to the rednecks, and like when they had Hillary, and when they did at the Democratic convention what they did to Bernie,
Mm-hmm.
you had a segment of people that did not like Hillary, and a lot of Bernie voters that voted for Trump. But even my Republican friends, hardcore white friends, and we had this conversation. If Bernie ran, Bernie would have
Yep.
won. And they was like, yeah, you're right. Even they knew.
Yeah.
It was a lot of
Yep.
luck on Trump's side. It was like the stars were perfectly aligned for that man.
Well, and they were trying to get Bernie voters to get behind Clinton when Clinton clearly didn't beat him. Like
Yeah.
they had to maneuver to get her in place and then say, oh, that's why I keep saying the Democrats have not had a proper primary since Obama. They
Yeah.
haven't had one. So if you're going to walk around hollering about democracy, you got to have a democracy in your primary, and they don't do it anymore.
I would have respected more if they just simply went back to the old convention system and did away with the farce.
Yes. Just say this
Like,
is what it is. Own it. Eat it. Just take it.
exactly.
Don't act like we have a say in it when you're going to override what our say is. That's right.
Yeah.
That's right.
So basically, this election will have to go however it may be, and you know what? I'm very interested in if they have any fucking debates, or we make it far enough to have debates where it shows the both sides of both the politicians how unqualified they are, and show to the public, like BGS said, is this the best you could fucking offer?
Mm-hmm.
I,
Mm-hmm.
I think the interesting thing about a debate would be the possible angles of attack Trump would take on her. And the interesting thing, like if he did it like a couple weeks ago, but I've noticed, and I'm not sure if you guys have either, white people are starting to kind of pick up on black delineation. Like they're those liberals who like, oh well, black is black. It's like, nah, honestly, there's a lot of conservatives who are seen to be getting it. It's like, nah, the ones that's been here, FBA, ADOS, they don't all use those terms. It's like they different from somebody who they family been here a couple generations. They came in the 60s from Nigeria. Like they ain't the same people per se. They might look the same, but they ain't the same.
Well, guess what? White America knows that, because I remember when Obama won, and I listened to both sides, the far right and the far left, and I remember Rush Limbaugh making a statement because Rush Limbaugh was on a panel, and it was saying about with racism, like it's over. We elected our first black president. And this came out of Rush Limbaugh's mouth. I'm going to find that video. Said, no, he's not, because he's not of slave blood. And he said, you're going to have a lot of blacks say that he's not of slave blood. So white America knows who FBA is.
They know.
Yeah.
That's why they didn't let Jesse Jackson in there, because Jesse Jackson, the first day, he like reparations.
Well,
I ain't signing nothing. Reparations, let's put it on the desk. They're like, no, we can't have that.
Wait, what was the white lady that she's a political commentator? She had dated Jimmy Walker.
That's Ann Coulter.
Yeah.
Ann Coulter dated Jimmy Walker?
Yes, she did. I think they still dating. They might still be dating.
Hold on, what? Hold on. We can't be talking about the same person. Hold
You're
up.
talking about Dynamite Jimmy Walker from Good Times. Jimmy Walker.
With Ann Coulter?
Yes.
Holy,
man. Where you been at? Where you been at, dog?
I missed that one.
You been
Yeah.
on Earth? I mean, you see that picture, you can't forget it.
Damn.
You see that picture, you can't forget that one.
Yeah, I missed that one.
That's gonna be etched in your memory.
I'm trying to find. Wait a minute. Which Ann Coulter talked about reparations.
Oh yeah. She was talking with I know what video you're talking about. She wouldn't talk with Ramaswamy. She's talking. I know what you're talking about.
Because I think Sergeant Willie Pete did a video on it.
He might have added to the front of his video, maybe.
Because even she said, for this country to move ahead, pay the reparations, get it out of the way.
Get it out of the way. She did say that.
And I remember her talking about that, because she was with affirmative action. Affirmative action was for blacks, not for gays,
Yeah.
not for Latinos,
That's
not
right.
anybody.
Yep.
It was for blacks.
And look, Lewis. And this is the thing, right? This is the thing that America has to come to grips with. If you integrate black men into the American system as power brokers of the black community, you're adding an economic engine into America.
But
Strong black families. Go ahead.
No, but like I want to add this, but see, the problem is it's the poor whites that fell for the okie doke, and you got the white women. Hold up, because like I said, racism was the biggest fucking joke ever played on white people. Because the motherfuckers that control this shit convinced them that their skin color is more important than their economic standing, and because of that, they're gonna like a Negro have something that I can't get, but yet this is the country that my ancestors conquered, and they get a head on me, and white women who is laying in the bed with the so-called the seats of power, other men are going to have something that I can't get.
Well, you're gonna get what you get now. You get what you get now, because hey, like BJ said,
But you know what the biggest fear is. Let's be for real. If blacks get power, we would do to them what they did to us. That's their biggest fear.
And they fear that because they don't trust themselves.
Yeah. Which means they know what they did was fucked up, and they know their nature.
That's right. That's right. No way. There's no way out of that one. You can demonize black men all you want to, but it's only 20 million of us.
Yeah.
You can't say America's jacked up because 20 million people have jacked it up, when those are the descendants of people that you bred like cattle. Like it's bigger than that. The problem is bigger than that. You gotta get past that.
Well, you can make the argument the BBC is the creation of the white supremacists because of the breeding.
Oh yeah, there's a weird fascination with black men's fathers. Like
yes, it is a weird.
Well, you ever read the ISIS papers by Cress Welsing?
It's been a long time, but yeah.
It has. Yes. You're saying here. Have you read Man Not? Man Not. He has a chapter in there. Man Not talking about it too.
I want to order that book. Is that book good?
It's a lot to digest, but I mean, he is thorough. He brings it. He has a book about the envy of the black phallus, and you're like, it just makes you kind of gasp, like, oh my gosh, listen to this.
Well, I used to listen to a lot of his interviews with Gus T. Renegade on the cows all the time. When he used to be a regular on the cows.
The cows.
The context of white supremacy.
Oh. I had a white roommate in college, and his great grandfather passed. And I remember when he came back from like when they have the hearing with the lawyer, he reads the will, tells them everything that they got from the trust and all that shit. He left him some money and some shit and all the stuff that was in the trunk full of family heirlooms. One of the things he said was in the trunk was a pickled dick.
Oh yeah, they used to keep body parts. That was souvenirs.
Yeah. And
Because
he was trying.
when they used to lynch black men back in the
That's
day,
right.
they would castrate
Cut
them
off parts. They
Yeah.
cut off parts and
for
use them
souvenirs.
as souvenirs. Yep.
But the
And
thing,
to think,
though, go ahead.
no, and to
Fast
think
forward.
that going through all of that stuff, that there's still black men, dare I say, thriving as descendants of that. I mean, what do you make of that? And they're not, and we're not. Well, I mean, I guess we deal with some anger, but we could be a lot angrier. Put it that way.
Yeah. I would definitely say that it's one of those things where black men, we survive and strive in spite of. It's not because of any privilege or anything like that. If there's a possible way to pull oneself up by the bootstraps, we fucking figure that shit out.
I also think it has more to do with our humanity, more so than anything else. And let's be for real. Half the motherfuckers that talk about a revolution, they're just bumping their fucking gums. Because to do a fucking revolution, that in itself is sacrifice, and a lot of motherfuckers is not about sacrificing nothing. They're in survival mode. They trying to survive, but more so, we have more of a humanity than them. Let's be for real.
Yeah.
Because half the motherfuckers that go out, and when you see half the times when they talk about revolution, they end up being fucking government agents in the first place. Remember the dude that was in the no fucking around crew with the guy with all the guns? Tariq Nasheed exposed his ass.
Shoot, it was a government informant that got Fred Hampton.
Yeah.
Well, I look at it as water is always going to seek its level, and one of the reasons why you should do good in the world as much as you can is because you can't always have your back. You can't always be looking. There's going to be a day where you're going to be what he said in The Wire, a step late or a minute short or something like that. You can't always be the man. Someday you got to have somebody looking out for your back. And if you have a history of doing people wrong, you're going to get got. And it might not be the guy that got you. It might be the guy that saw you do the person wrong. He says, I'm going to get him before he gets me. Like, I think about just what we know of just the history of what's been done in the name of America. Like, these countries around the world are not waiting to help America. They're waiting to see America get weak so they can play their cards.
Oh yeah, everybody want that get back. Okay. Everybody want that clap back.
Like there's nobody out here that's saying, "Oh, America's getting ready to go through some tough times. Let me help them out of the goodness of our heart."
Oh hell no!
Not when you've taken advantage of countries for centuries. They're just waiting for their shot.
Well, that's what I'm like Birdman.
Look, I was having we was having a conversation. It was with a bunch of Christian fellow and white guys, and they were complaining about the illegal immigrants. It was the legal immigrants in fucking Iran, and it shows you a lot of people got benign neglect, or they're just not educated. I said, well, first of all, from a humanist point of view, if America, because of the Monroe Doctrine, didn't meddle in the affairs of South America and Central America because of these corporations that want to extract resources out of there and overthrowing their governments and putting dictators on the behalf of Dole Fruit and Chiquita, United Fruit Company, and extracting all the resources out and leaving those countries in poverty, they wouldn't be coming up here in the first place. If we didn't overthrow fucking countries back in the day because we wanted the resources in the Middle East, aka Iran, and overthrow Mossadegh to put in the Shah, which brutalizes people, you wouldn't have the Islamic Revolution over there right now with the Ayatollahs that hate us. So, like I said, everything is divine intervention. The chickens have come home to roost in this fucking country. And everybody is licking their chops because they could see that this society here is about to fall. And that's why I said, everybody just prepare yourselves because it's a wrap.
Yeah, I mean, when I watched it, what was most alarming to me watching that
Wait,
convention
you're in
is
Japan, right? Passport?
Yeah.
Do you look, hypothetically, if this country goes to shit or Russia or somebody get that clap back on us, you don't think the Japanese will be happy for what happened in Hiroshima and Nagasaki?
I mean, the Japanese aren't as vengeful as they used to be, but come on, man. I mean, you look in the textbooks in school, they talk about the bombing. They talk about it. They teach it to junior high school kids. Like, they know what happened.
Godzilla is an anti-American symbol, and people don't know it here.
Well, what people don't know is before they dropped that bomb, what happened in Okinawa. Like, there were like 50,000 American casualties just taking Okinawa.
Yeah.
Like, they let them know, like, if you come in here, we gonna make sure you fight for every square inch of this place. And so they did that. I mean, I guess that's only quote unquote choice to have. But I mean, how many places got bases? That's one reason why I was really big on Ron Paul. He's like, look, we did our thing. We got to shrink back in a systematic way so that we can afford to do right by our citizens. I can get in line behind that. But if we're gonna try and do this for another 20 years, we're gonna go bankrupt. Can't afford
Come up, Art.
The position that I see America in right now is two empires. It's late Austro-Hungary and it's late Britain. Like Britain, actually, right around the time of World War II, ironically, where the empire is just too vast, and especially in the case of Austro-Hungary, where you have all these different ethnic groups, and there's these tensions because in order to give one something, it basically means you have to tell another or several groups of people screw off, which for Black folks and benign neglect seems to be the thing. Like I really see those parallels there, and then with Britain, just in terms of the extension of the empire and like the logistics of being able to sustain having over 800 bases on paper.
Yeah.
Like,
just the logistics of supplying them.
That ain't cheap.
How much money does that cost?
What's up, Art?
Oh, guys.
What's happening, brother?
So what's going on, Art?
So, like a bitch fusion. It should be the last one, though.
Were you getting ready to go to work?
Something like that.
Ooh.
How many hours you pulling a day now?
It's running from 60 to 70. 2 weeks ago, I did 85.
God damn.
You're getting up this early. You're a baker, right? These are baker hours, right?
Nah, I switched jobs.
Okay.
So
wait, you still in the supermarket, right?
Yeah, I'm still there.
Oh.
For the time being. That's my last year. If they don't move me up, then I'm gonna go somewhere else.
Oh, okay. Well, will y'all have problem with staffing?
They fucked us over. The guy who was part of the stock crew, he left. Our other manager, he went on a leave of absence, and our the assistant, he left the store, not unknowing to
Dang,
himself. So it was
dang.
just me and the store manager for like a
Wait,
month and a half.
are you perishable or non-perishable side?
I'm everything, man.
He's like, yes.
Yes. Yeah. All the
He's a
above.
Yeah,
Oh
so it was
man,
just me. It was
they're
just
working
me and the
hard.
store manager for like a month and a half. No days
Oof,
off.
oof. Mm.
Yeah, so I've been putting it in. Like that 85-hour week was tough.
You got to get a
No.
counter job offer. Get a counter job offer, lay it on
Yeah,
the table, tell them you got.
they better fucking compensate you very well with a
Yeah,
position or something.
Oh, did you say you work 85 in a week?
A week, yes.
that's wild. That is rough. That is literally 16 hours a day, right? 16
I
to 5.
literally did the math. I literally had about 3 hours to myself a day.
I
And
was about
you're salary. You can't be salaried. Please tell me you're not salaried.
No, I'm not salary.
Okay, well then
So I was
you got like triple double overtime.
But Uncle Sam took most of that money away in taxes, right?
What?
yeah, exactly.
What?
Yeah.
Yeah. Uncle Sam attacks you heavy when you get overtime, man.
Really? Look, like, cause
Oh,
I
then it's not
remember.
overtime.
No,
Oh,
we had a formula where because when I used to be hourly when I was in the union, really after 52 hours, it was totally worthless to work more than that because Uncle Sam would just take that money back, would take it out of your
oh,
check, but you'll get that money back at the end of the year on taxes.
Yeah.
But
So the reason for that is because like most payroll systems is going off your gross and your pay schedule. So
Uh-huh.
if you get paid weekly or bi-weekly, whatever, and say your normal wage, just for example's sake, is $500, you're gonna get taxed. We have a tiered progressive tax system, so making 550, like even
you'll
if you
get
crossed
that
over
extra
into a
50.
different tax bracket, you it's not everything getting taxed at that higher amount. That next 50 gets taxed at that higher amount. But what
Yeah.
happens when you get crazy overtime and stuff like that is a lot of
Oh,
times it kicks you all the way up those tax brackets to where you might go from where you're being taxed most of your wages at 10, 12% to now you're paying like big boy taxes where
Yep.
84 hours, you probably getting taxed like the upper 20s, like I want to say the medium rate is about 26%, 26,
Like,
28, somewhere around in there. So it gets progressively more. And when you throw on top of that too, that a lot of systems have lookbacks as well. They may overcompensate a little bit to pull out a little bit extra just to make sure that you don't run into any trouble at the end of the year with tax collection.
yeah.
shit, it's better than that Chinese overtime that Pizza Hut tried to do with my ass.
Chinese overtime.
Y'all never heard of
What?
that?
What is
Hell
China?
no.
No.
Basically, if
Doesn't
you
sound
got
good.
any time over 40 hours, they will charge you 33 cents.
The fuck?
Yeah, they call it Chinese overtime.
Oh, so they don't want you to work. Gotcha, gotcha.
It was a way to skip over to paying taxes and all this other bullshit for the store. So basically, the more hours I work, the less money I got made. I only got
What?
I only got paid 33 cents per hour after 40 hours.
Man, I would drop everything I had at 40 hours,
That
40 hours and
can't be
20
legal.
hours. Just drop it, wipe out of the
It
store.
is legal. A lot of people do it, but then people stopped doing it because a lot of people didn't want to do it anymore. A lot of people were going to go for those jobs because they were literally trying to work your ass as much as they could because they were like paying you 33 cents per hour. They find a legal. They must have found a legal loophole for it to do that.
What? Well, because you. Well, I'm a certified payroll professional, but it's. I'm thinking hard. Like, God damn. I've never had that premise thrown at me, to be honest with you. But God damn.
Yeah, that was the Chinese overtime. That's what they called it.
What did Denzel Washington say? I'm walking out here with something. I'm from around the way. I'm walking around a case of chicken wings or something.
Damn.
So it's I just googled it. It says Chinese overtime is a method of calculating overtime pay for employees who have a fluctuating work weeks and are paid a fixed salary. It is also known as a fluctuating work week method, variable rate overtime, or halftime method.
Yep. Okay. I thought you were standard hourly. My bad.
So even though I am hourly, once I get into overtime, then I become like I go over my base salary for the year.
Yeah.
And then they can just charge me 33 cents. It's some bullshit. That's what a lot of people don't do it anymore. They used to do it back in the early 2000s, but they never did that. It says Chinese overtime is permitted under the Fair Labor Standards Act, FLCSA.
Yeah.
It's intended to ensure that the employees who work extra hours are compensated fairly. However, some employers may have used this method incorrectly, such as paying employees half-time even though their hours don't fluctuate. Yep.
I mean, honestly, you could probably misclassification of workers is one of the biggest ways that wages are stolen from them, and frankly, big ass lawsuit. Long story short.
Yeah. I mean, because it says right here, if the employer pays half the time without meeting the criteria, employees can sue them for wage and overtime violations.
Yep. I mean,
yeah, go ahead. Sorry.
No, I was just gonna say I wouldn't do that. I'd scared somebody to shoot me. You work overtime and you pay me 33 cents. That's some nasty work.
Yeah, that's what it was.
Now what fields usually does this?
Fast food, because their margins are small. That's mostly what I ran into when I come to talking about this to other people. It's mostly been fast food.
But that well, because here where I'm at, most fast food workers, the only full timers are the managers.
Yeah.
Because
that's what I was. I was a manager. I wasn't a regular employee.
Oh damn.
Oh, managers, they get worked to the bone, boy. I've seen it. Ooh, no, ooh, Lord.
Yeah, I was an assistant at Pizza Hut.
Oh wow.
They were doing that shit.
That was my favorite restaurant back in the day. You know what's funny? Back in the 80s and early 90s, Pizza Hut was considered high end in our community.
Oh, that's before. Now go ahead, sorry.
No, I was just gonna say it's like always the banquet spot for like when you finish the football season. You had like the like last little get together. You gave out the trophies. It was always Pizza Hut.
Yeah.
Yep. I remember when they switched over from making their dough in house to having frozen dough brought in from Pillsbury.
Dang it!
It never tasted the same after that.
Yeah.
I would have to make the dough from scratch, and like when I cooked back then, and lay out the thin crust and the regular dough. Then when they switched over to the new system, we have everything brought in frozen. You had to thaw it out. Never tastes the same. Never tastes the same.
Why does America do that?
Convenience.
It's so irritating. But it's the quality that's what got them in the door. People are gonna know you changed.
But you think about this, and I was thinking about this I think today or yesterday. Right now we're living in the fast frozen era where everything's fast frozen, like TV dinners. Everything is about convenience. In the 70s, you had a big market about TV dinners. Now TV dinners are everywhere. Nobody
Oh yeah, all
want to
these
cook.
motherfuckers buy these fucking hot pockets, Hungry Man
Hot
dinner.
Pockets, Hungry Man dinners, all that stuff's in your frozen section. Everybody's buying it. Why? Because of convenience.
Mm-hmm.
And you know what's big now? Hey Art, now the microwave, the breakfast burritos and all the breakfast now is microwavable. At first,
Yeah.
you know, it was the dinners, like your TV dinners. They got a whole section that's dedicated for breakfast. You just throw it in the microwave because these motherfuckers can't cook.
Dog, they got a blueberry pancake corn dog.
It's
like a corn. It's like a sausage in a stick, and it's wrapped in pancake batter with blueberries in it.
Hey, those used to be busting, man. Before I stopped eating pork, those was busting.
Yeah, but that ingredient list is probably about as long as a book.
Exactly. Like me and my brother were talking about this. He said, like, you know, he has to buy the expensive eggs because eggs don't taste the same anymore. He said the quality of eggs has gone down. He said he can really think about if he buys like the $7 eggs, they taste just like they were like 40 years ago.
Hey Art, do y'all sell 3 dozen packages
Nah.
of eggs?
Nah.
How much is a dozen where you at?
The cheapest is like what? Like $1.98, probably.
Do y'all sell 18 pack?
Yeah, that's about around probably $2.30. The cheapest.
It's like $6 for. It's like, it's like $6 here for an 18 pack.
You get a 30 pack from us for like $7. Like that's what I said. Like your prices are extremely higher than what we have down here in the South.
Well,
it's interesting.
Well, we're in the New York metro area, and in the New York metro area is densely populated. So, and that's what a lot of people don't understand. Depending on what trade area you in, dictates the price of a lot of items. Also,
yeah.
Yeah, what state are you in, man?
Jersey.
No, I'm sorry, I meant Art. My bad.
Oh,
North Carolina.
Oh, okay. You ain't too far away. I'm in Georgia.
Oh, okay. But yeah, like just interested in hearing people complain about prices. It's like it's getting too high. Like I remember like during COVID, this shit was down there almost $10.
Yeah.
You complaining about $7 eggs, they were $10, $12 in COVID.
Oh yeah, and then when they supposedly supposed to had the egg shortage, then prices jumped up. Yeah.
Our prices didn't go up that much. We still getting stuff. The hard thing with us was about milk for some reason. I forgot what it was. We had a milk shortage.
Well, do y'all have a lot of dairy? Is there a lot of dairies in Carolina?
Pig farms. We do have a lot of pork production down here in Smithfield. Not that many dairy, I wouldn't believe. What I understand. Okay. It's mostly tobacco. This is tobacco country.
Yeah.
The thing that confused me the most about the pandemic was with the chicken, because it was like there was a shortage on wings, but it was like an excess on thighs or something at one point.
Wait, what? Say that again.
Like there was a shortage on chicken wings, but there was an excess of like chicken thighs. Like some restaurants stopped serving wings for a bit. Like even Wingstop, they was like it's thigh stop now. They were serving like the chicken thighs, and I was just like, I don't get it, because the chicken got 2 wings and 2 thighs.
Maybe it was a 4-leg chicken.
Well, it could be that they may be using that meat for something else. You never know, because a lot of companies, what they shift focus to for other things. So they maybe thought the wings were probably too much of a cost for them, and so they switched it to something else.
Yeah,
That's what
just
my
like
company.
oxtails.
Yeah, that's what my when I was working for the bread company. That's what we did. We just when had that wheat shortage, we just stay focused on something else. We stopped making certain brands and just started focusing on the ones that sold. That's why it was interesting seeing all this stuff pan out, and then going to out there in the world and just see everything, being foretold of what we're talking about. So, oh,
Well,
Russia's in trouble. So,
Art, how's your pet food section? Your bag pet dog and cat food.
food, it's full.
Oh, y'all shelves are full.
Yeah.
We could barely get anything in.
Oh, where you at? Damn.
Yeah.
What are you having hard to get in?
Well, right now, bleach is like one day we have it, the next day is not. A lot of cleaning products, pet food, beef is expensive as hell. Certain baby food we can't get in. Certain frozen vegetables, we having an issue with certain varieties because a lot of people don't understand when you buy when it pertains to canned and frozen vegetables, the product was harvested a year or two prior. So, and right now in the Midwest, they have a problem with the droughts and everything, where where they growing this stuff and been decimated to a lot of the fucked up weather, and it's hard to get right now. And even with the TV dinners, they cut down on mass varieties and they just concentrated on they main staples that they sell.
See, we have I guess because we're in the South, and we got like a lot of plantations and we got farmers markets all over this place. That
What
we
about
haven't had that.
candy? Because we're short on candy too. A lot of chocolates.
Our candy section is good. Like I
Okay.
don't. The only thing that I've noticed is like eggs and milk at one point because of the bird flu and we had a milk shortage. Other than that, we've been pretty stocked. So that's probably why our prices are kind of low as it is now.
Okay. Oh, that's what's up.
Yeah, so
But
we haven't really had a big issues about getting stuff in.
okay.
We actually had a power outage and we lost all our ice cream. We got it back the next day.
Y'all lost all your ice cream?
Yeah, we got it back the next day.
Oh damn.
We just did a category dump and dumped everything, and then we just did a special order and got in the truck like the next day or the day after.
But are you in a big chain? A big chain?
Yeah, I am. I'm not in a small chain, and that could be another reason why.
And well, you know what's funny? 3 days ago, my whole line had well, the problem was it overflowed the refrigeration, it iced up, so we had to pull the stuff to de-ice it. And we have in our store, we got a reefer that's stationed in the back, a frozen reefer, plus our frozen food box. So we pulled everything out and put it right into the reefer. And
Yeah, that's what we did.
yeah. Now, with your refrigeration now, do you have problems with the cases over icing because it's hot? So the humidity, do y'all got the coffin cases or y'all got the doors?
Doors.
And let me guess, stupid ass customers, instead of looking through the glass or what
They
they want,
open it.
they'll hold the door and be there a couple like forever just looking at the shit, and
They leave it
all that
open.
fucking humid air is getting sucked in into the air curtain and ice everything up.
Or they just leave it open and then don't even close it. That's when you
Yeah.
have to just go back there and just make sure all the doors are closed.
Wow.
But I mean, for the most part, everything is pretty much automated at the store that I'm at. It's like if you get a high temperature, they'll call the store.
Who, Dan Frost?
It's a company that I guess we hired, and they just they check the temperatures through the internet, I guess.
Yeah, our company's Dan Frost, who we contract out to, and I get calls all times of the fucking day.
At night.
Like if it's not some stupid ass customer complaint, I'm getting something from Dan Frost because somebody got one of the cooler doors open. So yeah, I feel you.
You gotta wake up in the middle of the night, go check it. It could be just a door open. You're like, what the motherfucker? But,
damn. So what time you starting for work today?
5:30. So I probably gotta get it ready to go. Because it's already 4:30 now.
Oh yeah. I'm about to take it down myself. I gotta go and get a couple hours of sleep. I gotta get my the rest of my son's school supplies.
Oh yeah, you gotta take care of that.
Oh yeah, and get his haircut ready for school.
Yeah, it's about that time.
Oh, what's up, Maggie?
Man, you're running all the black women away in the black bastard.
Oh yeah. Making everybody jealous.
I know, really. Why are you jealous of the white girl?
Oh yeah. Well, I was talking about that earlier on where, hey, what's up? Where it's called shrink. Oh god, I forgot the term. Where they just alter the container in a product, so you think you paying the same price, but they like with your soap before. Back in the day, a soap used to be a full bar, and then you had that fucking curve at the bottom. Yeah. So yeah, that's what a lot of people are doing, especially with a lot of products. They were forced to change their ingredients. So
and you notice that some things are like they're reducing the ounces but costing the same.
Yeah. Shrinkflation.
Like something, yeah, it used to be like 19.8, now it's like 19.2. It's like what? And
oh yeah.
Yeah.
With the cereal boxes. All that
cereal
shit.
boxes, rice, whatever. I mean, if you look at if any UPC changes and you look at the ounces before versus now, it's like, oh, they cut it down a little bit just to save some money.
But then later on down the line, they'll do a little promo and it'd be a special. It'll say 33% more, but it was the original size. That'd be on sale, like if it's running a sale program. And then when that's out, it go back to the low ass amount. Yeah.
Yeah, that's one of the reasons I don't eat cereal anyway, so that doesn't bother me.
Oh well, me, I like grits and oatmeal, so.
Oh yeah. Give me some eggs, bacon, and some grits. I'm a happy boy.
Oh yeah. Make some with eggs with over easy with some holiday sauce. Teller bacon. I'm good to go.
Yeah, I am glad these fucking hours are gonna be done with for this. That shit was killing me. I couldn't do nothing.
When is everybody coming back?
This week. This week's the last week of it, and so next week will be back to normal, 40 hours a week. So
now, are you on the store management staff or you and supervisor with the workers?
Pretty much store management staff.
So all right, like you got your GSM, Like, how many ASMs do you have in your store?
Just one.
We have a GSM, 3 ASMs, and 2 evening managers. That like we got a perishable, a non-perishable, and one that's in charge of customer service and front end operations.
Oh well, 1, 2, 3, 4. It take about 5,
Yeah, all right.
5%. So they hold different titles, like,
Yeah,
but pretty much the same thing.
yeah.
We're in charge of the store.
But damn. Well, you said next week y'all going back to normal?
Yeah, the other manager's coming back from leave next week. We found an assistant, and we found another other manager to handle the stock crew. So everything's not on my plate anymore. So I
Well,
go back.
when you go back to normal, will you be back on this?
Oh yeah, most definitely.
All right. Okay. Yeah, I'm supposed to be setting something up with Charles. The battle.
Okay. Shit,
Yeah.
I gotta get back on my YouTube grind. I gotta keep
Oh
the
yeah.
going. Too,
Yo,
so.
let me ask you something. Now, with your streaming, do you use OBS?
I use StreamYard to do the live streams, but I mean,
No, but if you want to stream your game, what do you
yeah,
use?
OBS. Are you trying to stream from your console?
Yeah.
Okay. Are you trying to stream from your computer, your desktop?
Well, I got the Elgato caption card, and I'm
Uh-huh.
trying to figure out how to use OBS, because what I used to do, because I got a MacBook, I used to
Uh-huh.
record my stuff on QuickTime and just upload it, but I never did anything live. And I tried doing it with the PS5. I had issues, but it's like when I connected it, the TV would be blank, but it's show on the computer. But I think I could do it with my Xbox, my Xbox X, that I could stream and show both on the computer and television.
So you have to make sure that the PlayStation 5's I think it's HTTP is
Uh-huh.
off. So that way,
Okay.
because they put that as fail safe, so that way you can't record anything like Netflix or anything like that or DVDs on
Oh,
OBS.
okay.
If
All
you
right.
cut that off, you should be able to stream with the PlayStation
Okay.
5. That could be an issue. So
Okay.
but if you had that on, you can't play DVDs, you can't watch Netflix or anything like that on your system. In order for
Oh,
you to
okay.
watch that, turn it on.
Oh,
So
okay.
that may be an issue. Are you just hooking it? You got an external Elgato, I'm guessing,
Yeah.
and you just hook it up to your MacBook.
Yeah.
Okay, so yeah, so you would just have to download, like I said, OBS, and then download the programs for Elgato,
Okay.
and yeah, it should be an easy setup. I mean, whenever I have time next week, whenever you have time, I can run you through everything.
All right. Good to go. I appreciate that.
I mean, we're still on Discord, my Discord, so yeah, just hit me
Yeah.
up.
All right. Well, I'm about to take my goofy ass to bed.
I hear you.
Thank you, everybody, for watching. Thank you for the support. I appreciate it. My ass is out.
Deuces.
Peace.